And what's up, you guys? Welcome to the Mango Grove. My name is Krisha, and this is today's Bitcoin and Chainlink analysis video. It is a start to a brand new week, so happy Monday to each and every one of you. I hope it's going to be a splendid one ahead. And well, we have Bitcoin setting a very happy tune to start off the week, right? Now, for those of you who are new to the world of macro analysis, just a quick reminder, we did open a brand new weekly candle today. I am currently on that weekly time frame. Okay, so we've opened a brand new weekly candle, and I do believe that Bitcoin has finally picked a side. Okay, after 1 month of consolidation, so the entire month of September, what we essentially saw was Bitcoin consolidating between that 11K region. Okay, we were holding it as resistance, and that 21 EMA guiding price action from below. Okay, so we were in that support resistance crunch there. Now, as things stand, price managed to take out resistance to the upside. Remember, when it comes to trends, markets in general, resistances and supports are meant to be broken at the end. Okay, so we saw consolidation underneath it for a month, and we finally saw the bulls manage to take over here. Okay, now this could have honestly flipped either way, right? Because we were in that symmetrical triangle crunch on the daily time frame. Now remember what a symmetrical triangle is in terms of overall structure. We see a series of higher lows, okay, which is bullish. However, we also see a series of lower highs being put in. So on a more technical standpoint, price can break in either direction. Okay, but as things stand, the bulls actually took over. Not only did we break that symmetrical triangle to the upside, but as far as the weekly is concerned, we managed to take out the 10 simple moving average as well as that 11K region of resistance. Okay, both of which we were holding as resistance for an entire month. For the entire month of September, that was resistance. Okay, so this is a official SNR flip. However, now the question is, can we actually hold this as support? Now, as things stand, this picture, if you kind of just zoom into this price action here, you'll notice that while we took back the 11K region as well as the 10 SMA, we closed underneath cloud resistance. Now, cloud resistance is somewhere around 11.4K, and as you can see, we closed underneath. Now, because of that look, I will be sort of anticipating a push to the downside. Now, question is, can we actually get a retest, okay, of the breakout point? Now, the breakout point was this entire zone here, that 11K region and that 10 SMA. If we can get that retest, personally, I will be looking for a range trade there. I will be looking to play that to actually get in a long here and play it to the upside. I'll be looking for a bounce play. Now, of course, that is going to be an if this, then that. If we manage to get down here, only then will I be looking for the bounce play, but I'll be patiently waiting and also kind of dissecting those lower timeframes, those intra-week timeframes primarily, to figure out whether or not we can get that pullback. But another important thing that I wanted to mention about the weekly chart is that Bitcoin has now stepped into a new zone of price action. Okay, so now the new zone that we have sort of established is, well, 11K as support, going all the way up to this next point of resistance at around 11.9K. Yes, we also have cloud resistance over us, but I will be giving more importance to 11.9K. Okay, that is going to be major. Taking out 11.9K to the upside, as soon as I see intra-week candles close above 11.9K, I will be looking for continuation to the upside. Almost immediate continuation. Okay, at which point the next point of, resistance is only coming in at around 13.9K. Okay, but there are more targets that I am looking at, predominantly the measured move of this beautiful symmetrical triangle that we actually broke out of on the daily time frame. So let's quickly pan on over to that. And this would also kind of shed some light on whether or not we could potentially get that retest, right? So we're essentially looking for a retest of this 11K region, so essentially this pink line right here, and also notice how the Kijun is sitting right above us. Now, in my last video with you guys, I mentioned something to you about, the symmetrical triangle break, okay, as well as us really establishing whether or not the bulls are in control. And what I personally was looking for, if I just put on my volume notes quickly, I noticed that what I did not like about the symmetrical triangle break is that I didn't see too much volume pop in. Now, because we were in that 1 month consolidation, I was looking for a little bit more oomph from the bulls to really kind of give me a tip off on whether or not that was a legitimate break. Okay, now I don't think that this was adequate volume. So what I told you guys was that, okay, if we have to sort of establish whether or not the bulls are indeed in control, I will be looking for how price, the daily candles at the very least, close relative to that Kijun, that daily Kijun. Okay, and on the candle close of Saturday, we actually closed over the Kijun. So that was very promising, and that's what kind of tipped me off on the fact that the bulls are in control. And that also kind of gave me an inkling that we were about to close the weekly over some of its major resistance points. Okay, 11K being one, as well as that 10 simple moving average, both of which we had been holding as resistance overhead. But now question is, where does that beautiful symmetrical triangle break take us up to? Now, if we just kind of scroll up, leave it up to me to have my measured moves on my chart, that will take Bitcoin up to 12.5K, apologies. However, I do believe that we are going to see some level of resistance at 11.9K first. What I personally am looking for, okay, what I am gunning for, is for price to actually come down and give us a visit of that 11K region. If we get that, guys, I will be taking a range long position there. Kijun coming all the way down to 11,090, 11,084. Now, that also lines up with the weekly 10 SMA, so I do believe there's a bit of confluence there, and I will be managing my trade off of that region. Now, this is Bitcoin on the daily. Let's quickly pan on over to the 4-hour time frame to see what kind of picture that is printing for us. And damn, it is bullish. If we just put on that 10 SMA, we're still holding that 10 SMA, okay? We're kind of stuttering on there right now. It appears that price is consolidating on the 4-hour time frame on the 10 SMA, that too. So it's pretty frigging bullish right now. But there is a play here of sorts. I'm actually going to take the wicks into account because I do believe that the wicks are important, especially when the consolidations are this tight on the lower time frames. So we're seeing a series of, well, lower highs. However, we are also seeing higher lows. Higher lows are intact, my friends. They are very much intact. So this is a consolidation that can swing either way. Now, depending on where this breaks, that will really determine whether or not we could get that retest of that 11K region. If we break this to the downside, I'm going to be looking at this as a symmetrical triangle. If we break it to the downside in the next few 4-hour candles, that will take us down to that 11K region. But as things stand right now, I may just kind of scattershot my bids on a range as opposed to a number. I never usually do that. When I first started trading, I used to kind of place bids on a single number, and I used to look at a very specific zone. And when I did that, a lot of times price would kind of come down, but I would not get filled on my position. And that was always heartbreaking when I kind of missed it by $1 or $2. And I thought it was asinine for me to kind of expect price to come down to the decimal point. You know, so what I started doing now as a trader, every time I'm taking my range trades, I'm usually looking to play a range. I'll have a buy zone and I'll have a sell zone. Okay, so I kind of set a zone for myself. Of course, I use my risk management system and other TA techniques to determine my zones, but I noticed that was working out for me a lot better than actually just focusing on a number to the decimal point and expecting price to come all the way down there. But yeah, this is what's happening on Bitcoin USD's 4-hour time frame. We are in that consolidation depending on where we break. And oops, I completely forgot. This could also break to the upside. Remember, it's a 50-50 probability. In fact, the bulls may very well have the edge here because the overall momentum is bullish. Now, if this breaks to the upside, guys, this will take Bitcoin all the way up to 11.6K. Okay, that is going to be the measured move of the symmetrical triangle. And this is not, we're not factoring the overall bull flag, because if you have to look at the entire structure on a more bird's eye view, this is more of a bull flag. Okay, but however, just focusing on the symmetrical triangle, this will take Bitcoin up to 11.6K. All right, now this is what's happening on Bitcoin's chart. We are very much in bullish territory on those lower time frames as well as the weekly time frame. The macro time frames is what is going to count here. Okay, we managed to take out a very key point of resistance that we had been holding for an entire month. So that is the key takeaway from today's Bitcoin analysis. We are in bullish territory. The bulls have taken over here. Okay, irrespective of whether or not we get that pullback, even if we do, we are still bullish. Until and unless we lose that 11K region once again on the weekly time frame, okay, this chart remains in bullish territory. That's how I personally am looking at it. Okay, now this is what Bitcoin is doing. Let's quickly get on to Chainlink. And here we are, Chainlink USDT on the weekly time frame. Now, we did close a weekly candle for Chainlink as well, and I was looking at one region of, well, resistance, okay? And that region of resistance that we covered in the last Chainlink analysis video was this $11 region, okay? Now, this is what I have marked on my chart. This is a weekly point of resistance overhead, and if you just zoom into price action here, guys, you'll notice that Chainlink actually closed underneath that region of resistance. Okay, however, as things have been unfolding throughout today, we have actually managed to close, I believe, 1 4-hour candle over $11. So that, my friends, is promising, at least for the bulls. Now, I do believe that Chainlink is going to be stepping into a rather volatile zone. Okay, as soon as we get past $11, I do believe that the next point of resistance overhead is going to be the 10 SMA. Okay, now the 10 SMA is coming in at around $12.78, going all the way up to this horizontal right here at around $13.57. Now, while this looks like a very tiny range on my chart, rest assured, my friends, it is not, okay? From where price is at right now to the 10 SMA, that is a good 13% to the upside. Going all the way to the next point of resistance, that horizontal there, is a good 21% to the upside. Okay, and this is where I implore each and every one of you to have some level of risk management in place. For those of you who don't, at the very least, you know, when it comes to volatile charts, it's going to pay to have invalidation points. Make sure to have your invalidation points in place, because that is essentially what is going to keep you safe. That is going to tell you when you are wrong about your trade. Okay, so careful here, it's a volatile zone, okay, for Chainlink. However, as things stand right now, I do believe that the bulls are in control on the Chainlink USDT chart as well. Okay, while we did close this last weekly candle underneath resistance, I do believe that the day started off relatively well. Now, this is what Chainlink is up to on the weekly time frame. Let's get onto some of the lower time frames to see what we could be doing getting into, well, the rest of the week. And I'm seeing a couple of developments on this chart. Now, the primary one that really sticks out to me, leave it up to me to find a pattern, I'm noticing an Adam and Eve pattern here. So that is an Adam and Eve pattern, but what is to note here is that we do not have an official break yet. This only really turns into an actual pattern after the break. So wait on that break, wait for some level of volume confirmation on there as well. Okay, and have your invalidation points in place if you are someone playing the pattern. And also, please, don't just play the pattern just as is. Like, pair it up with something, you know, give it some extra strength, give all your trade setups a bit more oomph to it, you know, play the horizontals, EMAs, add more boosters to your trade setup. Okay, that way that will also allow you to approach it with more confidence and conviction. Now, if we actually take the measure move of this Adam and Eve and we plot it, if it breaks, okay, if it breaks, it's a big if, and we plot it on the breakout point, which is this neckline right here, sitting at around $10.97, also lining up with our weekly resistance, the measured move will take Chainlink USDT all the way up to $14.72. Okay, that is going to be the next, that is going to be the measured move of the overall Adam and Eve pattern, but please note that we still have points of resistance over us before we even get up to that measured move. Okay, the major points of resistance coming in at the bottom of this daily cloud here at $11.88, going all the way up to the weekly resistance over here. That's a weekly level at $13.53. Okay, so we still have kind of ranges to clear before we actually get up to the measured move. As far as that is concerned, it is still premature until we see a break. So I'll be watching for how the next 12-hour candle, now we close that in about an hour and a half, 2 hours, give or take, how the next 12-hour candle closes relative to this $10 region, $10, $11 region. Okay, we start taking that out to the upside, and notice how we'll be entering the 12-hour cloud as well, at which point we may actually see an edge-to-edge on that. So there are a lot of possible potential plays on here, okay? So I think Chainlink is actually giving a lot of people some really good trade setups right now, as things stand. But I'll be looking for how price closes relative to $11 on the next 12-hour close, and if we can close above, I think the bulls are going to be in control. That is right. And let's also put on our 200 simple moving average. So we've also taken out the 200 simple moving average to the upside right now. So Chainlink is actually giving us some sign of revival here. So watch out. Chainlink is on the move, my friends. So 12-hour hour is looking good. We are currently inside the cloud. We close this candle in about 2 hours. Watch out for how price closes relative to, well, the cloud resistance overhead, as well as that region of resistance at $11. And if you notice, they're actually in line, so it shouldn't be too hard for you guys to get a gauge on that. So that's what Chainlink is doing on the 12-hour. Let's quickly get onto the 4-hour and see what we're doing relative to our 21, our 10 SMA, and beautiful. And this is exactly what I was telling you guys about. As soon as Chainlink establishes a trend, okay, watch out for how it reacts off of that 21 EMA, because that 21 EMA is going to be your guide. All right. It does, when it starts a trend, it does extremely well off of the 21 EMA. But as things stand right now, I mean, Chainlink is in bullish territory, guys, even on those lower time frames. I feel like the lower time frames right now are going to dictate. We've taken out the 200 simple moving average. And if you notice, if you kind of just zoom out of Chainlink's chart, you'll notice that it's done relatively well off the 200 simple moving average as well. Okay, this is on the 4-hour time frame. So we managed to take it out. We got a fake out right here where we closed underneath and took it back right after. Okay, and we've seen continuation ever since. Now, we're currently living over the 200 simple moving average, the 10 SMA, the 21 EMA, and we also have a bullish TK cross. Okay, with the cloud being green. So this is a overall bullish setup on the 4-hour time frame. This is in bullish territory. If we see multiple 4-hour candle closes over that $11 region, this is likely to have continuation to the upside. At least that's what I personally will be expecting for Chainlink USDT. All right, now, yeah, this is all I have for you for Chainlink and Bitcoin, guys. The market is looking bullish today. So with this, trade safely, trade stress-free, trade the mango way, trade the easy way. Ciao.